a 360-degree video walking the length of Waikiki Beach from the Hilton Hawaiian Village to the Marriott. I'm Chris, this is Yellow Productions. I do travel guides that are fun, informative, and entertaining. And in this video, I'm going to be shooting this, well, I am shooting this on my new GoPro Fusion 360 camera, which is one of these cameras that records in 360 degrees. So you should be able to spin this video around. If you're watching it on your computer, you can use your mouse and click and drag it around, and you can see all the different angles. Or if you're watching this on your phone, you should be able to just move your phone around, pick it up and move it, and then you'll see the different angles. This records all 360 degrees all at the same time. So I used to do these 360 videos on a Samsung Gear 360 and a Ricoh Theta, and the quality wasn't all that great. So I'm hoping the quality on this one is better. Let me know if you guys like this sort of format or like these kind of videos. If so, I will do more. And as I walk the length of Waikiki, I'll sort of try and narrate and let you know what you're looking at. Obviously, because I'm walking, I've got, well, some part of this is recording me, but other parts of it are recording the beach. So just to my left, and what side is left? Well, it's the side away from the beach and the ocean. The beach and the ocean is on my right side. And on my left is the Halikoa Hotel. The Halikoa Hotel is a hotel run by the Department of Defense, primarily for military members to relax and enjoy it. Slightly discounted rates on the beach, because everybody knows that Waikiki can be pretty darn expensive. So I think it's important for the folks that are defending our country to be able to have some inexpensive leisure time. This half of Waikiki Beach that I'm on, and I say half, that starts by the Hilton Hawaiian Village, has a boardwalk on it, a nice sidewalk. This is the widest part of Waikiki Beach. As we get to the center, it will get much more crowded and much less sandy, and the sidewalk will sort of disappear in a little bit too. On the left of me again, this is the Halikoa's beachfront bar. They usually have drinks, entertainment, the pool. I think that is open to the public, so I think anybody can actually go there. Let's see, I'm shooting this at about 6:23, so if you're looking in my direction, well, the sun is almost near setting. This time of year, the sun sets a little bit after 7, so I might be a little bit backlit if you look at me, but I don't know why you'd want to look at me all that much. Anyway, the sand, this part of Waikiki, it's a very white, fine sand, which is pretty nice. Though I'm gonna go back on the sidewalk because I'll be walking in this video for a little bit, and it's much more tiring to walk on the sand. Waikiki Beach, it's kind of like the Las Vegas Strip of Hawaii in that it's busy, it's packed, and there's the beach section, which I'm on, and then there's the sort of main shopping street. There's sort of, I'd almost say, 3 rows of hotels. There's the hotels right on the beach, a hotel on the other side of the street from the beach, and then the hotel on the middle street through Waikiki called Kuhio. Most of Waikiki, it's only about 4 blocks wide. It's not very wide at all. To my left here is the Koa Beach Service, where they rent surfboards, stand-up paddle boards. They rent these tricycle type things that are green. On my right, there's some people playing some spike ball on the beach. Back on my left, there's some folks playing volleyball, beach volleyball, of course. I think there's really no sport that's more beachy than either beach frisbee or beach volleyball. I'm gonna give beach frisbee the #1, and then beach volleyball coming up after that. So now that we're just past the volleyball courts, on the left this is Fort Derussy Beach Park. It's a park that's basically, I guess, run by the Halikoa Hotel. It's a big grassy area. They've got it closed off for some sort of an event. that looks like it's coming up this weekend. There's also some military museum in that park that has a tank at the front of it. I don't know what's in that military museum because I've never been in it, but this is a nice grassy place to have a picnic if you want to come to the beach but you don't want to get all sandy. So now if you look over to my right, you'll notice this beach is getting much, much narrower, right? Where we were over there, the beach was 50, 100 feet, 150 feet wide, pretty wide in front of the Hilton. And pretty soon, we're gonna run out of sidewalk completely because the beach is just gonna get that narrow. So Waikiki, before it was home to all these hotels, was a favorite spot for the Hawaiian royal family to hang out. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, but Waikiki means spouting waters. So walking around Waikiki, well, not the beach, but maybe the commercial districts, you see a lot of fountains like that that kind of pay homage to spouting waters. So now the sidewalk that I'm walking on here, if you look down, because you can look down with the 360 camera, you'll see it's actually sandy and wet over the sidewalk because the waves actually wash up onto the sidewalk. On my right, there's a chair here that is from one of the hotels that looks like it's gotten just a wee bit wet. It's obviously from this hotel that we're coming up on. On the left, there's sort of a picnic area where people sit under kind of a very interesting set of trees that's up on this trellis. Nice shady area in the heat. Yeah, Waikiki can get really darn hot. Right now, at this 6:30 time, it's probably 85 degrees or something like that. And the sun, being at the angle that it is, doesn't make it too hot, but at like noontime around here, the sun just, like it bakes you. It's baking. So here, we're sort of in front of the first big hotel after the Halikoa. I'd say this sort of starts central Waikiki. On the right, there's a big rock jetty out there, which is pretty neat to walk on. On the left here, there's a Subway sandwich in a place called Steak Shack, which is a really good fast food steak place. There's actually quite a big line to get that steak. It's in my Cheap Eats video for Waikiki. You can find the link in the description if you want to check that out later. There's also a little rental place that you can rent surfboards on the left. I mean, that is a long line. You can rent kayaks here. And I love this beach umbrella. And I'm gonna lower this. And if you look towards the water, and these people on this umbrella have a little table, hopefully you can see it, and you're looking towards the water with a pineapple on it. A pineapple drink. Nothing's more Hawaiian really than a pineapple drink. So we have lost the sidewalk now. Now it's just sand and water. And this sand is not very wide. I'm sort of hoping that my shoes are not gonna get completely wet in this because, well, most people aren't wearing shoes that are walking here. Maybe they know something that I don't. But since I'm walking on sidewalk, sand, and street, you don't want to wait for me to take off my shoes. So on my left here, away from the ocean, is the Reef Bar and Market Grill. Waikiki has a lot of happy people dining on the ocean front. Some sort of celebration there. I'm not sure what they're cheering them on for, but it's something. All right, so now I have to go across this. There's like almost zero sand here. I have to time this so I don't get completely wet. On the left, there's kind of a beach access. I'm gonna pause here for a moment, see if people walk by to make sure as I walk this way that I'm not gonna get soaked. Ooh. Oh, hold on, I'm backing up because that looks like a lot of water. And that was definitely a good choice on my part. So let's see. I'm just gonna wait till these waves die down and then I'll mosey after this guy goes by. All right, perfect. Moseying, I'm kind of running more quickly than I usually would, so sorry if this becomes shaky because I don't want to get completely soaked by the waves here. All right, so now there's just this kind of sidewalk along the water. I'm holding the camera kind of high so it doesn't get wet by the waves. This is a fairly sketchy place to walk with a lot of electronics. To my left is another hotel. This is, I can never pronounce this, but it's like the yeah, right. I'm really bad at my Hawaiian. But anyway, on the left, pretty nice, fancy hotel. Fine dining restaurant. They often have evening entertainment, which they've got some guys out here singing some Hawaiian music, wearing all white. You know, if the waves weren't quite as big, it might be a good place to stand out here and watch them or listen to them. But I'm not going to do that because I'll get pretty wet pretty soon if I stand here for too long. But it is interesting walking on this thing with the water so close, crashing here. It feels kind of exciting. You know, I'm not that much of a adventure traveler. This is really about adventuresome as I get. Turns inland here a little bit, the sidewalk for this kind of cove. And this cove, I think this is mainly here just to protect this hotel's swimming pool. I'm gonna hold this up higher now so you can see the pool. You don't really need to look at me all that much. You can take a look at this from the vantage point. Nice pool, nice hotel. This is just next to the Sheraton, so since I couldn't quite pronounce that name, you want to see it's next to the Sheraton. I would say this is definitely one of the nicer hotels in Waikiki if you're looking for something a little relaxing that doesn't seem too busy or too overrun. Here's another spot where I have to time this to go so that I don't get soaked. Now I'm running. All right. And then there's kind of this tree here, which is interesting. It's often be people sleeping at night under this tree. Another cool shade spot in the day. There's usually a staircase over on my right to walk up to the Sheraton, but because the tides are so high and the sand has gotten eroded, now you have to walk through the Sheraton property. They've got this temporary staircase set up, and you have to go in and walk through the hotel's pool area to go through. So now on the Sheraton Waikiki Beach property, and I have a video review of the Sheraton in addition to the Hilton Hawaiian Village. If you want to see more of the Sheraton, I kind of like the hotel. It's pretty nice. It is Japanese built and owned, so they've got the Toto toilets and all that stuff. They definitely cater to Japanese tourists. The only real draw, I mean, it's a huge hotel, and after I go through this bar area and I'm near the pool, then you could look up and see just how big the hotel is. The evening entertainment on the right, just getting ready for their performance. So yeah, now let's see, I'm at the adult-only infinity pool. This was rated one of the top 5 best hotel pools by USA Today's Reader's Choice. Always a popular spot to take selfies. I'm gonna walk kind of slow through here because it's kind of a picturesque spot. I mean, this really is a pretty neat pool to be in, and from where my camera is, it does look like infinity. You can sit in some fairly calm water, or maybe these chairs that are right along the pool to relax and enjoy. And then if you haven't had a chance to look up yet, you can see the Sheraton is quite a big hotel. And well, one might say it's a little bit soulless, but the biggest drawback of the hotel, and it's featured at the same time, this infinity pool, as you can tell, if you look out to the water, there's no beach in front of this hotel. So you kind of have to walk toward Diamond Head, which is the big mountain we're going to be coming up on in a little bit, to get to the beach. Kind of annoying. All right, and they have these little cabanas that we're going to go ahead and walk through to get back to the path. The Sheraton does have a lot of restaurants and bars, so it's a great place to come for evening entertainment, dining, drinking, that sort of stuff. This one that I'm passing by now on my left is called Rum Fire, and if it were more nighttime, you'd see more rum and fire. So now, from where I'm standing, if you look away from me, so directly opposite from me, you can see Diamond Head. Diamond Head is the big defining feature at the end of Waikiki. It's an old volcanic crater that has pretty neat hikes that you can take on it. And the water, if you just look out to the ocean, definitely exciting here with these waves, pretty big waves. So this path could either go to the left to stay along the pool or stay along the ocean. I'm gonna stay along the ocean because I think maybe it's a little bit more exciting. I mean, everybody's seen a swimming pool before, right? This path seems to get less water on it because it's a bit higher on this side than on the previous side of the Sheraton. But just over time, this beach is eroded. There's no more sand, just kind of like rocks down there. I've never really seen this part look all that beachy. What do we got here? This is in the water. If you look straight down, there is some excess carpet that is washed up. I mean, it's really unfortunate that, like, someone throws a big chunk of carpet in the sea. All right, so now we're getting back to Sandy Beach, and this, I would say, is the busiest part of Waikiki. There's a lot of people out here. There'd be even more if it was sunny at 6:37 p.m., which is the time now. The sun kind of hides behind the Sheraton and kind of shades this beach, which might actually be kind of nice if you want to come out and not get a tan or not get a sunburn. On my left, the big pink hotel is the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. This is one of the classic Waikiki Beach hotels. This is another great one if you want one that's a little more quiet, a little more subdued. They also have a big grassy area in front where they have the torches, where they do evening luau's and performances. I'm gonna go ahead and walk kind of right along the ridge of the sand and the sea. The waves in Waikiki, they're pretty calm. I mean, they're legendary for being a great surf spot, and maybe a quarter mile out is where the waves are breaking for the surfers. But just right in here, close to shore, mostly people wading, mostly people boogie boarding. I will say it doesn't stay shallow for very long. It actually gets deep pretty quickly. But this time of day, 6 o'clock, things like that, a pretty good time to come out because the sun has had a chance to warm up the water so that it's not too cold. If you come out at sort of the same sunny time in the morning, the water will be much colder because the sun hasn't had a chance to warm it up overnight. So now that we're passing the Royal Hawaiian, they've got another white building with some pink awnings. That's kind of the newer tower for the Royal Hawaiian. We're coming up on a hotel that has Duke's in it, the famous Duke's Hawaiian restaurant, founded by Duke the surfer. He was a legendary surfer, came to California, generally considered the kind of person who really started the worldwide surfing revolution. I'm not sure really how delicious the food is. It's probably not all that delicious, but it is a real Hawaii thing to do, I have to say. Friday night, a little after sunset, the catamarans will start coming in. There's often these companies that do sunset catamaran tours. They just pick up and unload from the beach. In my things to know before you go to Oahu video, I've got some shots that I shoot right here at sunset. You can see kind of what those boats look like in that video. There's a lifeguard tower on my left, but the lifeguards have gone home for the day. I guess they figure after 6 o'clock there's nobody drowning anymore, which probably isn't really true, but oh, I found the Catamaran landing sign. Just walking over to it, looking away from me, you can see that sign. Or if you look towards me, then you'll see it as I pass by it. There's a rope on the ground down here, and that's what they tie the catamaran up to when it lands. So this big white hotel on my left, this is the Moana Surfrider Hotel. It's another classic hotel in Waikiki, and it has like a, what, 1, 2, 3, like a 6-story main building and then a big tower. So if you want to stay in the classic one, you know, make sure you book one of those rooms. This is always another popular evening spot. They've got a restaurant out here with entertainment. It's actually pretty good in the daytime too, because they've got this, I think it's a banyan tree, but they've got a pretty big tree that makes the area pretty shady. Mind you, the food is not going to be that cheap or that delicious, frankly. You know, you're paying for the view and the location, definitely not paying for delicious food. But how often do you get to dine at a place like this right on the beach? Probably not all that often. The tide's coming up, waves are coming up. This is another small section of the beach right here. And this is this part right here. And I think this is also still part of the Moana Surfrider. This part of the beach gets kind of sketchy at night. Waikiki has a fairly large homeless population, and so they often set up here at night after dark. It looks like at this Surfrider, it looks like there's a wedding going on. I'll hold the camera up, maybe you can see it if you look over there. Alright, so I'm just crossing over some surfboards right here. And just past the hotel, there's a big surfboard storage area. Well, I guess if you're a local and you live here, you can pay to store your board up there. That way you don't have to carry it, bring it home. You can just use it when you come to the beach. So, the Moana Surfrider, that's the last beachfront hotel. And then after that, the beach is just the beach, the sidewalk, and then the street. So I'll go over there in a little bit. And this sort of occurs right in front of the Hyatt Hotel. The Hyatt's on the other side of the street. But there's like the Hyatt, the Marriott, some of the hotels down here. You know, they'll have what they call ocean view rooms, but they aren't ocean front rooms because you have to look across the street. I mean, I don't think simply going across the street is that much of an inconvenience, but it's also not quite the same as being directly there. Now, this part of the beach doesn't get shaded as quickly by the Sheraton, so there's more people still out here. It's a little bit more cheerful because it's not quite as dark yet. Also, sunset is a popular time to take pictures. On the left, there's this statue. You probably can't see all that well because I'm not getting too close to it, but the statues of Duke, that legendary surfer. People often put lays on Duke. Let's see. There's another surfboard area here. These are rental surfboards. How much does it cost to rent a surfboard? Let's see, canoes, photography, $20 for 1 hour to rent a surfboard here. So if you can bring your surfboard, well, that seems like a pretty good deal. I find people often underestimate how quick the waves come up here. If you look out to the water, and I'll go out there just around this guy with a really big telescope camera. If you look out to the water, now I'm walking towards it. This is your closest spot. Okay, well, I'm not exactly sure where that video stopped recording, but I am on the main street now. We've passed the Westin Moana Surfrider. We've passed the Hyatt Hotel. There's a guy giving a peace sign to the camera. Very good. I love friendly people. And walking along here, you can see the Spouting Rivers theme that I talked about, Spouting Waters theme. Waikiki stands for Spouting Waters. Just on my right, where these folks are taking a picture, there's a waterfall around here on this main street. There's a lot of these types of water features. There's also a lot of ABC stores on this street. The ABC store is like the classic Hawaiian store. I mean, it's everything that any tourist would ever need. So I mentioned this park was called the Prince Kohio Beach Park, and just to my right there's a statue of Prince Kohio right there. That's where the beach park gets its name. So I'm not sure if the camera cut out before I got this before, but we're past the Marriott. I'm going to make it up to the groin wall just at the end, past the Marriott. But this is half of my favorite part to swim. The Prince Kohio Beach Park has a protected seawall, and so it makes for a nice, less wavy swimming area on almost any other time than high tide. Today being like extra high tide right now, there's more waves that come in here than typical, but often the seawall that's out there, you know, might have like 4 or 5 feet of height protecting this area from the rest of the surf. So it kind of makes it like a large saltwater swimming pool. And I find because there's not as much access from the rest of the ocean, that the water has a tendency to be even warmer here because the sun warms up the water because it's kind of kept captive a little bit. On the roadside across the street, that's the Waikiki Marriott, one of my favorite hotels in Waikiki. I've got a video review of that. If you're interested in the Waikiki Marriott, you can check out my review. As a Marriott Platinum member, I usually find they treat me pretty good. Free breakfast buffet, nice rooms, can't complain. Actually, the only thing I can complain about is the parking situation. It's a really small parking garage that often fills up, so make sure you're you're renting a small car if you're staying there. So, as you can see, it's actually getting sunnier down here because we're kind of getting away from that shadow of the Sheraton. So people who want that last bit of sun on Waikiki Beach hang out down here. If you hear some drums and cymbals in the background, that's in front of the Marriott. There's the Hare Krishnas out there singing the Hare Krishna song, hoping to convert some people to their cause. Unfortunately, they won't be converting me today, but I hope they're having a good time playing their drums and cymbals with their chants. Yeah, obviously, you know, the Hare Krishnas used to be really popular at all the airports. Now with all the extra airport security, they can't do that, so they've got to find other places to convert new followers. On my left, there's this staircase. It says sidewalk closed because now it just seems to be where the water comes down from the shower. Yeah, I could see that could be a little bit slippery. So I'm gonna come up on the sidewalk here. And this is the end of the hotels. Kind of the last hotel that's here. And it's like one inland. There's a Hyatt Place that's pretty new. Underneath it, or underneath some of these hotels, there's a Teddy's Bigger Burgers. Pretty popular burger place. I like it. Popular with Japanese as well. And it's in my Cheap Eats video, so if you're interested, check that out. I've probably mentioned that video 1 or 2 times before. This on Google Maps is called The Wall. Sometimes it's referred to as the groin. But what we've seen pretty much so far in the water are people swimming, people surfing, but on my left you'll see people boogie boarding as well. This is the most popular boogie boarding spot in Waikiki because the waves, they kind of form up nice along the seawall and actually have a little bit of break. Though it's a pretty strong shore break, so if you do come to boogie board here, well, be careful that you don't end up breaking your neck as that wave crashes on the shore. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy it and you made it to the end, well then you probably did. Let me know what you think. Do you want me to make more of these 360 videos? Do you want me to do them a little differently? What do you think the video quality of this is? The GoPro says it's like 5K, which is better than 4K. So I'm probably just as curious as you are to see how it turns out. I sure am.
Can I subscribe to your YouTube channel?
You can. It's called Yellow Productions.
Okay.
Yeah, good deal. And so clearly he likes it, even though he hasn't seen the video. And I'm just gonna come out here in the end, and I'm gonna wave goodbye. Actually, see you in the next video.